On this episode of Street Rat Garage, we are going to put up for sale our Roadkill Pontiac Off-Road Fiero because we need more room. So hiding back there is our Roadkill Fiero. I'm a fan of Roadkill. I'm a fan of Roadkill cars, so I bought 3 of them. And collecting cars is a little bit difficult when you start to run out of space. And that's exactly what we're doing. We can't keep my favorite cars inside and have room to work on other project vehicles. So something has got to go. And unfortunately, it's going to have to be this Fiero. So the Fiero was on an episode of Roadkill 2019 Hot Rod Power Tour Edition where they brought Goose. This is Goose from California. Goose was in another 2 episodes, Cheap Beater Battle or something like that. And then they brought Goose from California to Bristol, Tennessee, where they started trading vehicles every day. The Fiero here, he was on down the line a little bit. I think he was traded for that Jeep that had no bed on it. And then the Jeep, or the Fiero, was traded for the house paint Belvedere right here. And then the house paint Belvedere was traded for the Mustang. So it was Goose, Jeep with no bed, Goose, a Jeep with no bed, Fiero, Belvedere, and then Mustang. I would have liked to collected all of those cars from that episode. I almost bought the Mustang. It was priced a little bit higher than I wanted to go, but I bought 3 cars. Now I'm in the shop here. It's fall, it's getting cold, and unfortunately I need the space more than I need, you know, an off-road Roadkill Fiero, which is awesome. So up for sale it goes. But we got to make sure it still runs and maybe tinker with it a little bit to get things, you know, proper so somebody can have a kind of reliable car. I mean, this did make, I don't know, about a 200-mile trip in 2019, and I don't think it's been driven a whole lot since then. Let's get it out, make sure it still runs and drives down the road, and tinker with it a little bit. And I'll tell you more about the car along the way. Okay, first things first. It's been sitting here for several months. Does it still start? That would be a no. It's a little bit of battery power, doesn't do anything. So let's get out the old battery charger, get that charged up, and see if we can start this thing. So the first thing we're going to make a note on is it has no trunk key. But it does have this screwdriver, which, you know, works just fine. It also has one of the greatest and worst engines of all time. Worst because it is very underpowered, but it is pretty good on a small car like this. Best because this is an Iron Duke, and they were in so many things, from S10s to Camaros. Yeah, there were some Camaro Firebirds that had a Iron Duke 4-cylinder engine in them. I had one. Now, let's connect the old battery charger, and we have 2 red wires here. So this red wire is negative. How come I always have either red wires or black wires? And this red wire is positive. And crank on some power. Make sure we got juice here. Oop, there she goes. Now we got some stuff. Put it on high cranking amps, and let's see if it'll start now. Now we should be ready to try it. Oh my, that is not good. Let's give it a few minutes and try it again. Okay, I was trying to make a connection back here, and as you can see, this terminal is really crusty, and this battery is pretty old, so I need to clean up these terminals. And another thing I found right here is this is the positive wire, and it's nothing but like a kind of big stereo amp wire maybe. I mean, if that. And it goes down to the starter. It worked, but definitely not what it should be. The problem is the battery's been relocated into the trunk here. It used to go in that little hole right there, and the starter is just back here, so it only needed a couple feet. Now it comes all the way around here into the trunk. So I don't know if we can get we should be able to get a cable that's that long. I mean, the positive wire, or the negative wire rather, is that long. So why shouldn't the, and thicker, so why shouldn't the positive wire, the pretty important one, also be that thick? Well, I don't know. So we'll look into that, but this should be enough to get it started because it worked before. Let's clean this up, come back and try it again. And we're back with the cleaned up cables, so let's get these guys back on, make sure we put it on the right post, of course. This one's a negative, this tiny one still the positive, because I looked and I don't have a bigger ground or positive terminal sitting around. But there we go, now we're getting some good spark, lots of good spark. Well, let's try it again and see if she'll start. Okay, we're ready to try it again. It's just on high start, and hopefully this will crank over this time. There you go, she started right up. I cannot believe that tiny wire activates this starter, apparently without any problem, but definitely needs a thicker wire. We shouldn't rely on that, even though it's been on there for years. All right, I have it squeezed in here, and it's super close to like everything, so let's see if we can get it squeezed back out. Yeah, oh, hit something. Okay, out, back, and over until we hit something else. Whoops, and that's our Chevelle hood. No big deal. Can we get out now? I don't know. We're gonna make it? Doesn't look like it. Nope. Not gonna make it. One more time. Oh, ran over something else. Come on. It shouldn't be this hard. Just, oh, I hit something on that side. Okay. Easy does it. Easy does it. Almost there. There we go. Now we're good. Well, she's back outside again and seems to be idling pretty good. I'm gonna let it sit there for a while, and we're gonna charge the battery back up. Then we'll go for a test drive, make sure everything's working as it should. Well, that's been about 10 minutes. That should be good enough. Let's jump in the car, take it down the street, go around our country block that's like 3 miles long and see how she performs. Well, it looks like we're ready to go. I think we have enough gas. It's not getting hot. Got the GoPro strapped to the car. Hopefully it doesn't fall off. Now, let's see what she does. Make sure she has all the gears. Got first gear. Second gear. Well, that's a long first gear, isn't it? That's second gear. We're going like 40 miles an hour in second gear. We'll find third gear here eventually. 45. There she goes. Third gear. So we have all our gears. Just wanted to make sure. Is this 4 gear? I thought I shifted again. Is this 4 gears? You know, I don't know what kind of transmission is in Fiero. I think this is, what year is it? I can't even remember. This is like an 86. I thought it just shifted again. Do we have 5 gears? We have either 4 or 5 gears. I don't know which. Oh, it downshifted. Maybe it's only 4 gears. Ended up shifted again. So we're right in that spot. Kickdown cable works though. Kicked it all the way to the floor. Wow, she's not fast. Not fast at all, but fun. Yeah, okay, well, you know what time it is. It is time for a little bit of traveling music. Okay, well, that was fun. I think I'm gonna take a little bit of a detour and go a little further out because this is pretty fun to drive. I mean, you can pretty much do anything with this. Oh, maybe not that. That was a lot bigger than I thought. Ow. That handled it pretty well. The dip was a little bigger than I anticipated, but it did not bottom out. I just hit my knee on the door panel here. This is a great little car, all around driver. Pretty much go anywhere you want to. I'm sure this would be really good in the snow, seeing how it's rear wheel drive, but has the transaxle and engine, everything in the back of the car. So it should plow through snow without any problems. It's a little bit louder now because the exhaust pipe that I had fixed before came unfixed. So there's that. But so far, so good. So let's discuss a few things that, you know, it could use or you could just ignore and not worry about it. Well, first of all, this is going straight. So yeah, it's off. It's like way off. And turn signals, my turn signal's on. That one blinks, that one not so much. So there's that. I don't know, we just have a few weird things going on in the blah 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 blah. We have a few things going on in the interior, like we have no stereo. We got a little bump raise there. I did replace this center console with one out of another Fiero. And the doors, probably the most important thing. We now have doors on it, which it did not have doors on it to begin with. So we bought a parts Fiero and we took the doors off of that parts Fiero and put on this one. Excuse me. Now it has power windows and those aren't hooked up to a switch. So yeah, you have to, I don't know, run a hot wire to one side of the power motor in order to roll it up if you want to be, you know, warm, or if you're too hot and you want to be cold, you know, roadkill things. But the power windows do work on the car, so there's that. And as I mentioned before, exhaust. Now the exhaust can be clamped back together and it'll be a lot quieter than what it is right now, but it's just a couple cheapy clamps and some AutoZone piping. Not the best in the world, but it gets the job done sometimes until we hit a big bump and it all comes apart again. So let's get back to the shop and we will go over the exterior of this car, what else it needs, what else is cool about it, and pricing. How much am I going to sell this car for? Well, stay tuned until the end and we will find out. And we're back at the shop, so let's go over the exterior of the car and we'll just pick it apart so you don't have to. Now, being an off-road Fiero, of course there are some things that have happened to the car over the period of its life, like, you know, being made into an off-road Fiero. Of course, it has these big SUV tires on it, even bigger ones on the back. I think these are just standard, I don't know. These are somethings by somethings, 235, 75, 15s. I think these on the back are a little bit, you know, they're bigger. What are these? These are 31 10.5, 15s, so way bigger on the back. Now, the SUV tires, they're a lot wider than the 14-inch fiero tires, so it grabs a groove every now and then, so you know, that's something to be expected with giant oversized tires on a small car. But it goes down the street pretty straight. It's just that steering wheel that's cocked off a little bit, probably from, you know, being out of alignment because it was driven off-road. So the headlights, they are permanently up and they do not go down, and for clearance and airflow reasons they did cut out the center section of that nose cone there, as well as, you know, it's been clearanced here on the polyurethane-ish weird fender things, and also has a crack right there, and the ground effect has been clearanced a little bit. Oh, on the other side I think it's missing a piece, almost forgot about that. That panel is also cracked up a little bit. This is this panel, you can take this panel off. It's a one-piece panel, so all of this, it goes up over the top and back down the other side into this fender. So you can remove this whole entire back section and replace it, you know, if that's what you're into, but definitely missing part of the ground effect on that side. Now, it did not have doors on it when it was on Hot Rod Power Tour 2019. I added those doors from a parts fiero that I have in the back, which if you need some more parts, we can throw in some more parts with it as well. Actually, you could probably just take the whole parts car, what's left of it. I'll throw that in on the deal too. If you want it, fine. If you want to take some parts off of it and just leave it, fine. But just know that it'll come with a parts car. Back to it, doors. So if you don't like the doors, take the doors back off. You know, it doesn't have to have doors on it. I didn't match up the paint very good. It's a lot more faded on that green than it is this green, but there's 6 bolts. Actually, I think there's 5 bolts. Take the doors back off and just drive it like that. So what do we have? What else do we have? We have the exterior lights, which may or may not work anymore. I can't remember. Everything else is pretty good shape. I mean, it's a little dirty on the inside. Needs some cleaning up, but you know, not bad. We did put a new door striker in it, so the door closes. There it goes, like it should. So now you no longer have to, you know, use this latch to have the door held closed, but you know, it's still there if you're going off-road and you want some extra safety, or if you want to lock somebody in the car that doesn't know the latch is there. Anyway, that's pretty much it. It has, you know, this air snorkel on it that's basically kind of functions. Got your package trays to haul your luggage on it. Let's look at the parts car real quick to see what we can use off of that car. This is our Fiero parts car. This is a couple years older. I think this one's an 84. That one might be 85, 86, I can't remember. But you see it has a good ground effect on it. Rocker panel cover, ground effect, whatever. And it has a solid rear valance thing, whatever you want to call this as well. Quarter panel, sail panel, this whole thing just unbolts and you can put it on the other car, you know, if you're into that. It has a luggage rack on it. Does it have a lock in here? No, that one's missing too. Must have been a Fiero thing. So too bad you can't use that. And lots of miscellaneous parts. The doors are missing, the striker's missing, the wiring. I mean, if you really wanted to get into it, the wiring for the power doors would be there as well if you wanted to do all that fun stuff. That one fender, where's that fender? Did I take that one off? Yeah, it has that one fender. It's a little bit better. It was ripped a little bit there at the bottom, but still in good shape. So yeah, you want that car too, you can have that car, like I said. If not, take some parts off of it, whatever. But this is our other Roadkill car, the 63 Belvedere. Unfortunately, it gets to stay outside because we took it apart in order to, we were going to put an engine in it and had to do the floor pans on it. Floor pans got done, but the engine has not got in yet. Was going to put a Hellcat engine in it. It just doesn't fit well at all. So maybe LS swap that one. We'll come back to that one of these days. And we still got to put an engine in that car as well, because I'm pretty sure it's locked up. That's another video. There's our truck, all our other fun stuff. But back to the Fiero. If you want a fun car that's going to draw a ton of attention and you could actually get good gas mileage with and use as a daily driver with, you know, maybe some window switches and you know, plug that exhaust back in to where it's supposed to go, and that's pretty much it. It runs great. I just drove it like, well, it was only like 5-7 miles or so, but that's probably the furthest I've ever driven it. That's another reason that I'm going to sell it, because I don't drive this. It's small, I'm big, and I just don't fit well in this car. So we need room. I don't fit. We can use the money on another project. So speaking of money, you want to know how much this car is? Well, I'm going to list it on Facebook Marketplace for $3,500. Is that a good deal? For a regular Fiero, yeah, that might be a bit high. For a modified off-road Fiero, nah. But for a Roadkill, modified, worldwide, semi not really famous car, yeah, I think we'll go with that. $3,500. And it is located in central Indiana. So my shop is about an hour north of Indianapolis. I live in Indianapolis, so if you want to meet in Indianapolis, we can do that. If you want to come all the way up to, you know, an hour north of Indianapolis, northeast of Indianapolis, you can meet, you know, the Fiero here at the shop. So that is pretty much everything about the Fiero. It runs, it drives, it's loud, it wanders just a little bit. The brakes, forgot to mention the brakes. The brakes work a little bit stiff on the brakes. Maybe it needs a new master cylinder, but you know, not a master cylinder, but a brake booster. I don't know, maybe there's a vacuum leak somewhere. But it's a little bit hard, but not really. But I didn't even check. I'm pretty sure it has a power brakes. I don't think they're manual, but they feel manual, but they should be power. Anyhow, that is it. If you want this car, hit me up in the comments or go to my Instagram channel, Street Rat Garage. Hit me up there. I always check my messages. Anytime in the day, hit me up. So that is going to wrap it up for this episode of Street Rat Garage. Until next time.